Hi, I'm John Decker, PGA instructor and author of the book, Golf is My Life, Glorifying God Through the Game. Today, I want to work with you on your practice, and I want to talk about the driving range. And there's what I like to have my students do is think of the driving range. There's three ways that you want to think about what you're doing on the driving range. And the first of these is, and I want you, when you go to the driving range, to define why are you going there. I don't want you to just go to the driving range and go through the motions and hit balls with no plan. So there's three reasons why you should go to the driving range. Number one is to warm up. And when I go, if I'm going to go play golf, I need to warm up. And when I warm up, I don't start out by hitting drivers or 5-irons or even 9-irons. I start out with my most lofted club, like a wedge or a sand wedge, and I'll start out making very small swings. And I'm just going to try to hit this ball to the end of the tee here. I'm not trying to hit it real far. If you watch tour players, when they first get to the golf course and they go to the driving range, the first thing that they do is start out with the really small shots. Then they progressively lengthen their swings. So their first target might be 30 yards, then they hit it 50 yards, then they hit it 70 yards. Eventually they have to change clubs. Then they go to their longer clubs. They work their way to the driver. And I typically like to do this in about a 20-minute time frame. I don't want to take an hour on the driving range before I play golf. So I like to kind of work from my shortest clubs to my longest clubs in about 20 minutes. The rest of the time, I like to go to the putting green, hit some chips, pitches, bunker shots, and in total, I like to take about 45 minutes before I play. So if I have an 8:45 tee time, I like to be on the driving range at 8 o'clock, and that's my warm-up session. The second reason I go to the driving range is to work on my game. And this is during a lesson. This can be after a lesson. This can be after a round. Maybe you've gone out and you've played golf and you've played poorly. Maybe you want to go to the driving range before you go home and work on some things that you're doing on with your pro. That's the time to work on your swing, not 10 minutes before you go play golf. So in other words, if I'm going to play golf, I don't work on my swing. I don't really do a lot of drills. So the second reason is when I go to the driving range is I'm going there specifically. Today I'm going to work on my irons, or today I'm going to work on my bunker shots. I have a plan in my mind. This is what I'm going to work on, and I try to accomplish that. You can't work on everything, so you need to go there with a plan. If you're going to be doing that, it's great to use alignment aids or swing devices, or watch your golfswing.com video and work on that. You don't want to be watching videos or working with swing devices right before you're playing in your member guest tournament. That's not the time to do it. So the second reason would be working on your game. And the third reason I go to the driving range is to practice my play. And what I mean by that is you can actually play your golf course on the driving range. A lot of times you can tee off, take your driver and pretend that you're playing the first hole at your club. And maybe it's a dogleg right. And you tee off, and in your mind you pick a target and say, okay, here's the drive I want to hit. And you hit your shot. And then you say, okay, I hit a good shot, I'm in the fairway. Now I'm going to go to my 7-iron. And I'm going to hit my 7-iron because that's about how far I would be after that drive. And you pick another target. And then you go to the next hole. And you can actually play the golf course from the driving range. This is a great way to prepare the day or two before you're actually playing in a tournament. So again, in recap, number one is I go to the driving range to warm up. Number two is I go to the driving range to specifically work on a lesson or to work on something in my swing. And number three is I go to the driving range to practice my play. Put these three aspects into your driving range time, and you're definitely going to improve your game.